Hi, I'm Paul Psolka, Ivy Masters Learning Center at ivymasters.com, and today we're going to look at the 20th question from Digital SAT Test 2, Module 2B. This is from the harder set of math questions. Number 20 reads, in a given system of equations, R is a constant. If the system has no solution, what is the value of R? What you need to know is that when it says no solution and you've got two linear equations, then the lines are parallel. Now, we're going to use Desmos solving this. I think that that's the easiest way to do it, but stick around. I'm also going to show you the algebraic solution. There's something you should know for the algebraic solution. So, going to the Desmos over here, I've plugged both of the coordinates in. Now, when you've got a triangle with an exclamation point, then you know that there's a problem. This is telling me there's too many variables. Try defining R. It gives me this option for the slider, though. So I'm going to click on that, and notice it gives me another line, a blue line, and I could slide this slider back and forth. But remember, no solution is when the lines are parallel. Remember, the solution's an intersection point. So what am I going to do here? I've got to expand my slider until they do wind up. I'm going to make it negative 40, and then I'm going to make it 40. You know, if you don't expand it enough, then just expand it some more. And now when I go all the way to the right, it's never parallel. I'm going to go all the way to the left. Oh, it's nearing parallel. So it looks like, whoops, right around there, it's parallel. Maybe a smidge more, about there. It's at negative 34. Now, I'm going to zoom out. And if it's parallel on both ends when I zoom out, still parallel, not touching. And then it merges into a line. It must be negative 34. Also, it's an integer value, so I'm confident in my answer. Mark your answer, move on. Now, if you did this by hand, and I do recommend the Desmos solution for this one, but if you did it by hand, I'm going to show you how you could do it by hand. There's something that you should know in order to do it by hand. So first thing is, no solution, lines are parallel. The slopes must be equal in parallel lines. So if I take this first equation, I got to get the y alone. So if I divide both sides by y, I get y equals 1/6, and the r is on the bottom over here, minus 16 over r x. Now, you're probably not used to seeing it in that form. You're used to seeing the form y equals mx plus b. The slope is always attached to the m, so y equals negative 16 over rx plus 1 over 6r. So now you can see that the slope is negative 16 over r. Slope is negative 16 over r. What about the other line? Let's take this other line. The first thing I'm going to do is add 72y to both sides. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to. I'm going to subtract the 30y from both sides. I'm going to be working with a negative, but it's going to be a little quicker to isolate my y that way. So we've got 48x. And then if I subtract the 30y from both sides, I get negative 102y over here equals 24. Now I'm going to subtract 48x from both sides. This cancels. And I get negative 102y. And I can't combine those terms. One's got an x, one doesn't. So negative 48x plus 24. Divide negative 102. Now, when I divide the whole left side by negative 102, it's like dividing each monomial by negative 102. And this cancels. You don't actually need to know it for the purpose of this question, but again, in the form, but negative over negative is going to be a positive. So y equals mx plus b. Your m, you can see, is your slope right here. Negative 48 over negative 102. So m equals negative 48 over negative 102. And what you might do is, so what you do need to know is you've got to plug these slopes in, set them equal to each other in Desmos in order to solve. You can do it by hand as well, but it's so much easier to plug it into Desmos. Now, Desmos, what it understands is not the equal sign, but the tilde when you're solving for a single variable. So negative 16 over r equals negative 48 over negative 102. It's just going to solve for r for you. So going back to Desmos, I've got negative 16 over r. I got an arrow right, and then the tilde, I hit shift, and the upper left of your keyboard below the escape and above the tab button, you get the tilde, and it's negative, is it negative 102 over 48 or negative 48 over 102? It's negative 48 over 102. Whoops, over negative 102. Okay, and now notice, if it says RMSE here equals 0, there's a problem there, because anything over 0 is undefined. It doesn't tell you what R equals. It should tell you what R equals. That's because I have R defined up here with the slider. I get rid of that, and then notice it tells me what R equals. It's negative 34. Once again, mark your answer. Move on. Thank you for joining us today. If you like this video, click like. You could share it with someone who who doesn't know how to use Desmos for this. Use the slider. If there's any question you'd like see answered from any official PSAT or SAT or ACT, leave that in the comments. I'd be happy to shoot a video on it. Click subscribe so you don't miss anything. Check out our short videos. They're about a minute. If you go to YouTube, Ivy Masters Learning Center, go to the playlist, find your test and module number, and then the short videos are just below the long videos. And again, this is test 2, module 2B, the hardest out of math questions, number 20. Have a great day.